welcome back to My Cup of TV with Jenny,
JD
and Erin.
So, BTS. So recently there's been a lot of new content, and so I just said, JD, pick another song for us to do, a new song, but one we haven't, not a recent one, a throwback song. That would be the quick way of saying it. JD, pick a throwback song.
Yeah. Mix it up on it. Nice amongst all the, I suppose, the new content to mix it up with what we're putting on.
Well, my concern is when they bring out new songs and there's an MV and there's live performances and there's dance practices and there's just all this stuff to do with it, is that I don't want burnout on a song. I don't want to start not enjoying it as much because I've just... And plus, when you're reacting, we could sit here when they release things really quickly and we don't meet as often, and we could do a whole day of the same song and it takes away from the reaction and my enjoyment if it's just the same thing on repeat.
Yeah.
So it's nice to...
We don't want anything to feel forced.
No, and because I want to listen to these songs when I'm not on camera as well. So.
Yeah.
And then in, 3 months' time or whatever, when we're like, oh, what should we do? We go, oh, actually, let's have that one, especially with them, going away. It's nice to... It almost then feels like we get new content from them for longer. Yeah.
That's true. There's one bonus of being an army later to the party as you guys get stuff. You still got quite a lot to go, so that's good. Cool.
So,
well, not to dampen the mood. It's a lovely song. We're going to show them Rain, which is a throwback. So it is.
But Rain does dampen.
There you go.
I'm concerned.
So this is from the Dark and Wild album, so 2014. So yeah, but now we know that BTS as quite a few groups, but they've always been very good at talking about their feelings and things like that, not just singing about happy stuff or hard-hitting cool stuff and whatnot, but kind of getting into their feels as well. So Rain is a song that was written and produced by the Rap Line as well as P-Dog at Big Hit, and it basically talks about them kind of being how they feel when they're stuck in kind of maybe, and again, open to interpretation, you could say depression or a bit of melancholy, or possibly like if how they feel as artists, if they feel like they might be stuck in a bit of like writer's block, and it's just about that. And so on the one hand of it, it's not super sad and depressing and dark, but it just talks about the greyness of a day and just seeing the rain, and it's kind of like, going through the motions and like just how everything's a little bit dampened down and kind of not as bright and shiny as when you're in a better place or you've got inspiration and there's lots of things happening.
When you're stuck in a rut and you only notice the negatives. Yeah,
kind of thing, yeah. But it's the way they tell it, again, it's an OT7 song, so you've got the rap line telling their stories and then you've got the vocal line doing the chorus, and it's a lovely song to listen to. And it was also a slightly different sound on the album, which makes it stand out again as a song where they're playing with genres and their sound as well. And it didn't do as well. My understanding is that it didn't do as well in Korea because it is a different sound that doesn't necessarily play into the more commonly enjoyed K-pop genre. It's more jazzy. It's piano. And it's deep and bluesy and kind of, vocally really lovely as well. So that's why I think it's a really underrated song. And some newer armies may not even know it's out, that it's actually there. But because it's a B-side, so it hasn't got an MV or anything. But there's a live performance from, I think it's the channel of Enjoy BTS More, which do those. So it's a live performance
with the subs.
From back in the day with the subs on it. So yeah, it's really cool to hear them sing it live, and then you'll get the produced track on the playlist, which is lovely. But yeah, it's a really cool song, and I think it deserves a listen. And it also very, very different from the other new stuff, like you say on the channel, can mix it up and give you a different sound for BTS.
I said this to you the other day. We did
I don't listen to what you say.
I know you don't. That's why I'm telling you again. When we went live at Club 9 and we're chatting in the comments, and I said, I really hope that Spine Breaker comes on. And someone, I think it might have been you, Kenneth, said, I don't know that one. I don't know necessarily the B-side tracks. And it kind of hit me. I'm never aware of what is a B-side and not, because we've been so lucky to have you to bring in these songs. And I love Spinebreaker so much. And I can't imagine that there's armies that don't have that. So there must be so many songs that, you know, if you've gone through their whole discography, that you think, oh, this gem, how do people not know? So I'm excited to hopefully get another one of those. And
you don't want to see me when I'm home alone and Spinebreaker comes on and walking around going, yeah, 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 yeah.
La 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 la. Breaker.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of subs were really happy when we did Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh my god, this is amazing, and not many people, you know, react to it. But again, it's because unless you've got someone to kind of say, oh, watch this, then they can get forgotten about. But yeah, like Boys with Fun. There's another couple on there like Paradise, Pluto. Like they're Wayne. Yeah, there's loads basically.
So please remember to like, comment and subscribe. In the comments, what are your favourite B-sides that not enough people react to? I know I've asked this before, but it's always worth asking again, because sometimes you hear one comes on your playlist and you're like, oh yeah,
forgot about that gem.
Yeah.
Oh, the piano.
Oh, this looks like a stage mix.
That's some impressive hair.
Oh.
Hear all the doubling and the harmonies and the octaves. It's really good.
I love how it makes it look like the rain's falling. Jim was mouthing it.
Guideline era. can see what you mean. I can't imagine it getting much radio play because it doesn't have the kind of melody.
No. I think it's a song that deserves appreciation. One, because they're talking about something again, which at the time in Korea they didn't want to talk about, you know, depression, especially amongst young men and the suicide rate, things like that. But it helps to be able to have that outlet for your emotion, and then for people to hear that and be like, oh, that's how I feel seen and heard. But then also just as a song, it's a fantastic song to be created and composed and produced, because it had a mixture of rap, the vocals in it were lovely, the layering, the instruments, everything, you know what I mean? So it's like,
very simple.
Stripped back, vulnerable, but like it deserves a look.
Which again goes with what they're saying.
Yeah. But there's nothing there to decorate it, to hide from what they're feeling.
I think it's a song that you could put on for when you need to sit in that feeling. Because sometimes you do. When you feel like that, sometimes the only option is to just sit with it for a while. And then when you're ready, you'll come out of it. Or while sitting in it, you realise what it is that's putting you in there. Yeah,
it's okay to just sit and ponder and be like, oh, what's it all about?
But it would be lovely to have some company whilst doing it, to know that you're not on your own. These 7 men that you think are just amazing all of the time, they can have days like that too, because everybody does. RM had a lyric, something about going to the fridge. How many times when you were in that mood, and it's normally like you feel low and you're hungry, and you go and you open the fridge and you shut it and you walk away, and then you come back and it's that repetitiveness of nothing's changing,
almost like
but I don't have it in me to do anything else. It's such a, I think everyone will have done that.
Oh, I regularly do the whole, I don't know why I'm looking in the fridge. I know there's nothing in the fridge because I looked not that long ago.
But have you then found it when you start to feel a little bit better, that you go back and you open the door and you're like, well, I mean, I probably could make that. And that's when you know you're on the upswing from it, because you might repeat it, but then eventually you come out of it.
There's a lot of mentions of umbrellas. And it made me think, is that them kind of saying you try and put up a wall to protect yourself, but eventually it's going to get in, like Yoongi talked about it being on his shoes, so it's going to seep in anyway.
Yeah. I also really liked that Sugar talked about taking like an extra long, a needlessly long shower, but I really liked that, almost like talking about how water was also a comfort and a cleanse for that, and you know, so it's just the rain on the outside being the metaphor for how they're feeling, and the umbrella so their protectiveness, but at the same time fresh water was then fresh warm water, hot water and shower was also then their comfort. So I just liked the fact that it was a different type of water dropping on them.
Well, and because a shower can be so, it is a comfort in a way. You're in a warm water, you kind of just, you haven't got to be thinking or doing anything else. You can just zone out. And like I said, an endlessly or unnecessarily long shower. I've definitely done that. You've got out of the shower and gone, how long have I been in this?
But funnily enough, I like looking at the rain.
But
again, if you, it's such a strange metaphor, because like going to the fridge, if you go to the fridge or you look at the rain when you're kind of sad, it makes it feel one way. But if you look at the rain when you're in a better place, it feels different.
I find it really relaxing.
So it's actually not the activity or the thing itself, but it's within you of how you perceive that.
Yeah. The sound of rain.
I love it.
I find it very comforting.
I do.
And
when I'm indoors.
Yeah. But when you're in that kind of place, there is nothing worse than feeling that way and it being bright and sunny outside.
Yeah.
It's almost an insult to injury. And I find that when the weather reflects my mood, I'm comforted by that.
Do you feel validated?
Yeah. I don't want to be feeling, if I feel rubbish, I want it to be grey, I want it to rain, I want to feel like, right, I'm entitled to wrap myself in a blanket and feel a bit sorry for myself, that it doesn't look nice outside and I don't feel like I look,
and you don't feel like you're missing anything of everyone else being out there having fun.
That's true.
Was it, I don't know who sang the line, maybe Jimin. And it was, even when the rain stops, like there's a puddle and I look in it and I don't like my reflection. Again, it's that. Oh.
So it's actually not the activity that's happening. Again, it's how they feel inside. Because even after the rain is gone, it wasn't the rain that was making you sad. It was in here.
And it's that kind of thing of, even if you've moved out of the worst of it, there's still that remnants there that you don't like. That either doesn't go away, or then you learn to live with, or just takes longer to get past.
Yeah.
I loved the tone that J-Hope used for his rapping. It felt pained.
Yeah.
And out of the 3 verses, lyrics aside, I loved how his made me feel the most.
Yeah.
I like obviously the clear contrast between the low tones of the rappers and then the higher tones of the vocalists in the choruses. It was really nice.
They were a higher pitch than they
were
normally
purposefully.
would. Yeah. And I said that. I said V was.
And I think
higher.
it mimics the ups and downs of that journey of
It
the
does.
depression or whatnot.
With the rappers, you can almost hear like yourself being like, oh, why am I feeling this way? Why is it always me? Why, a bit of a down. And then almost the vocals are more of a cry like type.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because when you're talking and you're getting more and more upset, I personally, my voice goes higher and higher and it gets more desperate.
And when you actually cry, your voice is higher.
Yeah, I'm excited to listen to the produced track so that I can you will hear the clear vocals and where those bits of piano came in, because
I will say they did a really good job of, again, boys sound like they've been eating CDs, because they make that look so easy, but how they all did that so effortlessly that's fantastic. Like, that's not easy to do, so it's really nice.
To end on a high note, not Jimin's one, sorry. I've seen things online about, apparently RM said that when he was a kid, when he was younger, when his sister annoyed him, when he left for school, if it was raining, he would take all the umbrellas with him so she wouldn't have one for her walk. And I was like, that's the kind of petty shit I love and I would absolutely do. And
it's the most sibling of sibling things.
It is such a sibling thing. And I'm like, if that is true, I mean, yes.
He may be a genius, but he's still a brother, so he's going to be a douche every now and again.
That is genius.
Very clever. Because how can you really get in trouble for that? I didn't realise I had them all. I didn't realise there was one already in my bag.
Yeah. Oh my.
Put them back when you get home. I never took them. They were there the whole time.
A bit of gaslighting.
I love a little bit of like microaggression.
Yeah.
So good.
Okay. So that was our reaction to Rain. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.